to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Patty, we'll do the roll call.
Debbie? Here. Dave?
Here.
Carolyn?
Here.
Gary?
Here.
Joe?
Here.
Okay, this is yours. Is this the, yes, sir? Do we-
Corey.
Corey?
Yes.
I guess you have something that you want to talk to us about, or?
I have the floor. Okay.
Or, yes.
We do. We have some insurance to talk about. I'm so glad you picked a warm night to have the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to want to go out next few days. Let me start by saying I want to thank you very much for your relationship with Marshall Insurance in 2016. And we certainly hope that you choose to continue that relationship in 2017. And thank you for your time tonight. So we actually have the removal policies here for the township and the fire department. I assume maybe those go to Patty. In here are also insurance identification cards for the vehicles. There's a couple of forms that we'll need a signature on, but can probably take care of that with Patty sometime. Got summaries of removal policies here for everyone. So
Okay.
I don't know how much time you want to take on this. I guess I have a division maybe doing just a quick
Yes.
overview of things.
Yeah, that's good.
If we have questions, we can dig a little deeper. So in general, not much is changing here. The coverage is the same. There are no differences. The premiums are very much the same. There's about a 2.5% increase on both policies. So about $147 on one and close to $200 on the other. You know, we're seeing very stable commercial business insurance rates. So a couple percent increase is pretty standard. So if we want to open the folder up, and I am on page 3 of 8. I'm going to start with the township policy. Remember, we have two separate policies, one for the township, one for the fire department. So I'm on page 3 of 8. Here's a summary of the property insurance. Remember, we have blanket coverage. So we've taken all the property items, which you can see a schedule there, added the values up, and we have a one blanket limit of coverage to use, however we need it, if any one or several multiple items are damaged. One comment I'd like to make here is that this policy, many policies will automatically increase property values at renewal time, maybe 2, 4, 6%. This policy does not automatically do that. So these are the same limits, the same values that we saw on the previous 2016 policy. So, I mean, it's up to you if you want to make any changes here. If we want a little nominal increase to keep up with increases in building costs, it's going to be up to us to make that decision. I will point out one thing.
Excuse me.
Yes.
On a catastrophic claim of one of these, does that affect, if we have this undervalued, does that affect the thing, or does the blanket just automatically take care of it?
That's a good question. There is co-insurance on here, 90% co-insurance. So, and that only comes into play on a partial loss. But, you know, if that event should happen, if we're grossly underinsured, and I can't define that, I mean, that's something that I guess the insurance company can make a determination on. If we're grossly underinsured, our low values are far lower than they should be, because again, this is replacement cost, so we should be thinking in terms of what it would take to replace everything with brand new. Then there could potentially be a penalty for being underinsured, I think. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that could happen. And I will point out one thing. When we first placed the coverage last year with Continental Western, they did their own evaluations of the buildings. They suggested a higher limit on the hall, the office and garage building. They came up with an estimated replacement cost. And like, these things are not exact science. I know, Joe, you have some expertise in this, but they came up with an estimated replacement value in that of about 360, so maybe about 100 grand more than what we've been assigning to it here. And they suggested a little bit more on just the town garage building next to that. We got 248,000 assigned to that, and they suggested 281,000. We did get a quote from them last year to make those changes, to add roughly 130,000 of value here to our blanket. Additional premium is only about $86. So property rates here are very, very low. So nothing was done with that. That was communicated to the town here, but nothing was done with it. And the insurance company kind of dropped it. So I guess it's up to us, up to you, if you want to make any changes here. So, you know, that's something you can discuss or think about on your own if you like. But you don't have to make a decision right now.
Okay.
Thank you. Sure.
The rest of the values were all pretty close to what
They were in line with what they were looking at, or at least didn't mention they had a problem with it, so.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Can you speak a little louder?
Okay, I will try to. Sure.
That's okay.
Do you want me to repeat anything?
No, I'm
Okay.
good with you so far.
Okay.
You want the mic turned on?
That's fine.
Okay.
If you just speak slower.
I'll talk louder. How about
That
that?
sounds good.
Okay,
For the
good.
benefit of those back there too.
Okay. Any more questions on this page? Nothing has really changed here, so. And if not, we can flip to page 4 of 8. This is a property enhancement endorsement that's on the policy, gives you a number of additional coverages. I don't necessarily want to spend a whole lot of time on this. If we have any questions, I'll address them. But most policies contain an endorsement similar to this for a township here. So, page 5 of 8. Here's our mobile equipment, and we've got 3 items listed. This is replacement cost coverage. So the value we pick here we'd be thinking in terms of what it would take to replace it with a similar model. You might not be able to get the same model anymore, but a similar model with brand new machine. In addition to that, we do have some coverage for rented or borrowed equipment at other towns. And then there's really a $75,000 limit of miscellaneous small tools and equipment coverage. Items that, again, this is for items that would leave the property here. And I'll play up to 5,000 for any one item under that miscellaneous small tools. If we have no questions, we'll move to page 6. Here's our general liability coverage. The limits haven't changed. $5 million per occurrence, $10 million aggregate. That's the most they'll pay total for all liability claims during the policy term. We also have employment practices liability. $1 million each wrongful act, $2 million aggregate. This is for suits brought by current, former, potential employees based on maybe some sort of discrimination, harassment, wrongful termination, things like that. There's the professional liability, public officials professional. You can also consider this direct D&O coverage. If anybody sits on a board, nonprofit board, it's similar coverage. It's coverage for the individual themselves and also the entity, the township itself as well. Under coverage highlights, one of the things I am going to talk about a little briefly here tonight, cyber coverage, cyber liability, data breach. This is kind of one of the hot topics in insurance, has been for a couple of years now. We all hear in the news about hacking events and data breaches. We've got very minimal coverage here, and this particular program doesn't offer higher limits. You really have a 25,000 for a data breach event, and that's first party coverage, so it's coverage for you to cover your cost to, maybe you need to hire a computer technician or something to come in and find out what happened and who was affected. It's coverage for your cost and notify people, is obligated to notify people that could have been affected. That's what that is. There's also a 25,000 limit for regulatory claims expense. So if you take some sort of regulatory action, your expense associated with preparing for that action is covered. But this is not, on the township policy, it's not third-party coverage. That's the event where some other affected party actually wants to sue you because, their personal information, let's say, was compromised. There's no coverage for that on the township policy here. We'll see when we get to the fire department. They give a little bit of coverage in the fire department policy, that third-party coverage, but it's not on the township. And I don't know necessarily what sort of information you have maybe on town residents. You certainly have personal and confidential information on town employees. So, I don't know what data might be available there that could be sensitive, but I would suggest maybe we look at a separate standalone cyber liability policy that would present higher limits here and broader coverage. I think we should at least look at that, maybe get a quote for that to see what the premiums might look like. Something I would recommend. And again, that's up to you. No questions, so we move on here. Page 7, here's our automobile coverage. And down towards the bottom of the page, you can see the list of scheduled vehicles.
Got one change there.
Okay.
The second one, the 2005 International was changed to 2017 Freightliner.
It's on the bottom.
Yeah, that, on my copy, that's down on the bottom. Bottom of the list.
Okay, then we got it covered.
Okay, yep.
And that's what our number is.
There's no 2005 on there.
I had a note on here, I put it on the old.
It's supposed to be-
17 replaced 05, is that what?
03,
For the
it should be 03.
03, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that's gone.
The 03 International
It's gone,
is gone. Okay,
and it's been replaced with the 17.
okay.
So,
So you made a reference to an 05. Is there an 05 vehicle?
no, I just misread it
Okay.
because I had it crossed
Okay.
through and I couldn't read whether there's 03 or 05.
Okay, all right.
So the 03 is gone.
We can certainly take that off then. So you can see the liability limits, the $5 million limit of liability here. As far as the physical damage coverage or damage to the autos goes, this is designated value is how this policy terms it. And so we're picking, I guess the idea here is we're gonna pick a value, amount of insurance that is equal to replace our unit with what we want to replace it with. And that could be a brand new unit, it could be a used one. So look at the values and make sure you're comfortable with them. We can increase them if you like. Some more coverage details here, but if we want to go into them, we certainly can. Otherwise, we can keep moving. Page 8 of 8 is the premium summary. There's an overall 2.6% difference from last year. It's $199. Okay, if you want to flip to the fire department tab, here's our fire department renewal policy. Okay, page 3 of 8, start with property insurance. So the fire station, the fire station is covered on a guaranteed replacement cost basis. So yes, we see a limit here, and that's only a rating function. That's how they develop a premium to charge it based on that amount. But the coverage is guaranteed replacement cost. So whatever it takes to rebuild your identical building, they will pay it. If that happens to be more than this, they'll pay additional, whatever it takes. The storage shed does have traditional replacement cost coverage on that. You see the amount of coverage there. And we don't point this out, but we did, the business personal property, the contents in both buildings is blanketed, so you really have a total of $65,000 of coverage to use between either building. Now, the fire department turnout gear and the fire department equipment is covered separately, a little further into the proposal here, you'll see that. So page 4 of 8, again, this is a property enhancement endorsement, gives you a bunch of additional coverages. Again, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that if you don't want to. Page 5 of 8, okay, so here's where we're covering the fire department portable equipment, turnout gear, up to $250,000 limit of coverage. We do have some scheduled mobile equipment items, snowmobile, a couple of four-wheelers, I believe, four-wheeler trailer. You can see the values assigned to those. Again, it's replacement cost coverage. So if you're comfortable with the values, that's fine, otherwise we can change things. Down the bottom you see, excuse me, I have a little bit of cough here. You can see this coverage enhancement. So there's a high limit of coverage for commandeer property in an emergency situation. If fire department has to commandeer and or borrow a piece of property or equipment that doesn't own, there's high limit coverage for that, as well as firefighters' personal effects. Something I'll back up to the auto coverage, excuse me, on both the township and the fire department policies. Fire department members, even township members, if you're using your own personal vehicle to go to an official fire department or township event, and you get into an accident and your vehicle is damaged, there is coverage in here actually to provide coverage for your own personal vehicle. It's excess coverage, so if you have comp and collision on your own vehicle, you have to use that, but this would reimburse a deductible, let's say, and if you have no comp and collision coverage on it, this would come in and pay for the value, the amount of damage and the value of the vehicle. Then page 6 of 8.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
Is this correct date for the trailer? The 1996 double wide trailer?
That should have been changed, it's not a 96 trailer.
That's a newer.
Yeah, we should update that then and maybe get a serial number if we can, because I don't think we have a serial number.
Yeah.
Here, that's the old one, right?
Yeah, that's the old one.
We have that yet or no?
No.
No, we have a newer one than that.
That should, I thought we had some changes on that last year, but.
Okay, so what should we replace it with, what year was it about? 3 or 4?
Or 1994, like 13 or 14, something
Yeah,
like that.
it's only been a few years.
So if we put 2013, that's a, the whole place. The whole
Yeah, it's
place.
been just a couple of years, yeah.
Kind of value you I can get with him too.
That was what, a $20,000 trailer?
No.
How much was that?
I'd have to go back and look, but I don't think it was
No,
20.
we didn't even do that.
Well,
We'll have to look it up.
okay.
Maybe contact him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna suggest if it's anything more than just a standard snowmobile or a trailer that's all around an ATV, we probably should put it on an auto policy.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll need some information on that
Okay.
to do that, so.
There should be a,
Do we have this 96 double one? And
No.
we have this one anymore?
No,
Okay.
no.
That one we take out. Okay. You ready to move on to page 6? It's our general liability coverage. Same limits we saw before in the township policy. Employment practices liability is covered actually on the township policy. Professional liability, this is also firefighters' professional liability here. You see the limits there. We have liquor liability coverage here, that comes in, we have a need for that during the Fall Fest. So on the Fall Fest is certainly covered as as well as the fire, actually, the fireworks display is covered under this policy, so. On the bottom again, we have that cyber coverage we mentioned. It's a little bit broader here. This does include some third-party coverage, but again, I think we really ought to look at a separate policy that would offer higher limits. To do that, I would just need a little application filled out, and I can maybe work with Patrick just to do that. Turning to page 7, automobiles, fire department automobiles. So please take a look at the schedule there. You know, if anything's going to change. I think that new trailer will probably add here. It's a good place to put it. Again, designated value coverage, so pick a value that we want to use to replace our item with what we want to replace it with, I guess. I'll get the values and let me know if you'd like to make any changes. Okay, page 8 is the premium page. And then there's a 2.5% increase here, $145 is the amount. So, any questions so far? I had a few as we went along here, but
On page 3 of 8, the deductible went from 500 to 1,000 over last year's policy.
the property deductible should have been 1,000 last year too. Did we have a,
Yeah,
did we indicate 500?
500 according to this.
Okay, that's something I'll look into then.
Okay,
I did not notice that, so.
I'm just comparing the two.
Yeah, okay, good. Thank you for pointing that out.
And then we're gonna have a reduction also for not having that dump truck on there, correct?
Well, yes, yeah, we'll take that off of it, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna take that off.
Addition of the new one plus the
No, we got the new one on there, but
Yeah, the new one's already on there, so
trailer.
we're just taking the old one off,
That'll be a
the
return
township
for
policy.
everybody.
Right. Okay,
We're taking that old trailer off, the fire department policy, but we gotta have the new one.
the new one's added on there.
Not the new
The
trailer.
The new
Oh, the
trailer,
trailer.
yeah, the new trailer. So, and I think, and again, I think we, you know, property limits, property values, maybe that's something you wanna address, at some point. And as we mentioned, last year, our insurance company thought that town hall office building maybe should have had another 100,000 on it, but, you know, that's
What do you
something
think,
we'll have
Joe?
to take a look at.
I'll have to take a look at that,
Yeah.
some square footages there and see what the, what's that. So is that the 2 garages is what they were talking about?
Yeah, they wanted about 360 on the hall for the office garage building, and then,
200 on that.
281, you said.
281, correct.
281,
Yeah,
yeah,
this
so it's going up.
248 we have on it now, assigned to it now, and they're looking at me to go up.
so the cost per 1,000 would be how much?
That I don't have, that I didn't do off the top.
Yeah, 100.
But you could let
I
us,
can get that for you, but I don't have it with me now. Okay, I can get that for you. Okay, so now I understand, the workers' compensation coverage is not being renewed by rural, so that's something we've looked at here for you. And there's a tab right in the back here for what the workers' compensation would look like. We can certainly handle that for you. So I believe Patty had given us payroll estimates and so forth that are on the current policy, so. The rates actually, you know, work comp in Wisconsin is heavily regulated by the states. The rates are established by the state. The rate for the township code actually went down a little bit. The fire department, volunteer fire department rate went down a little bit. So your overall work comp premium will be $125 less, I guess.
Well, actually,
the-
fire department is gonna go up because they are paying out more. So that,
Well, that, for the fire department, work comp in Wisconsin, the fire department's based on the number of residents. Yeah, number of
okay,
residents.
so it's not on payroll?
It's not on payroll for volunteer fire department
Okay.
members, no. Interestingly though, we're looking at 2,002 residents. Is that?
Roughly.
2014.
No, it's up.
It's the estimated as of
2014.
January 1st, 2016,
Okay.
is 2014.
Okay, I just, 2002, I just kind of looked at that, because that's one of the 2000 is one of the cutoffs. If you'd be under 2,000, your premium would have been $254 less. Those extra two people would cost an extra $254 here, but I guess you're up to 214 now, so.
How do we get the 14 people to leave?
Raise your hand.
Somebody died.
More ways, I suppose.
Oh, my.
But yeah, that's what the work comp would look like, assuming we want to leave these payroll estimates and that we can't get the number of residents in the town under 2,000, so. Yeah, I just need an application to do this, and again, I think that's something I can do with Patty if she has some time.
That was last year's.
No, it was 4 something.
That was last year's
5,500.
5522.
For what, workers' comp?
Yeah.
That was maybe at the beginning of the policy term, but I think there was following the audit from the year before, I think there was an endorsement that adjusted your payrolls.
Yeah,
And that's the information I was given anyway, so the expiring premium that I have is $65.74.
And that's all based on it anyway.
Well, it is, yeah,
The
you get
majority of
audited,
it.
you get audited at the expiration of the policy term, and they always, your final premium is always based on what your actual payroll was, so.
Okay.
One question on the workers' compensation, though. Are there any actual, what was the terminology that was used here? Official officers isn't the right terminology. But, so, when you form a corporation, you list the corporate officers and so forth, and do we know, are there any named official officers? Because work comp policies treat officers a little bit differently, but that's the question I had here. Or you just, so Carolyn's the chairperson and the rest of you guys are supervisors, and I think that's maybe just a title only, I think probably, huh?
yes.
Yeah, okay, that's fine, that's fine. And,
Considered town officials.
yeah,
Elected.
yeah, okay, that's all I need to know.
Carolyn is the chairperson of the runs.
You do a big. Okay. All right, that's all I had for you then. If you'd like to place that workers' compensation with us, let me know, I need to know that, and we'll get the ball rolling to do that. Patty's already got the information I need, but we still need to now invoke an application.
True, okay.
So again, here are the actual kind of policies. Who wants these? Everybody's pointing fingers at me.
We'll take it here, you can put it here, it'll go in the office. Yeah, it'll go in the office.
In here, inside probably here are invoices, of course, that's all
Okay.
part of this, but.
Yeah.
Here's an insurance identification card.
Okay. All right, very good.
Anything else for me?
We don't have that on the agenda. So you're gonna check out we've got till the end of the year.
I'll look at those.
We've got till the end of the year, so we've
Well,
got
we got
another meeting.
anyway, so we can put it on that.
I'll come up with
I can get you an insurance company
That would
that cost
help, that would help if they got something.
Yeah, I can get you. I can even get you a copy of that.
I've got some engineering ones too. I'd help with it.
I'm sure yours
Give
will
me-
be a little more detailed.
But if you give me the
Insurance
insurance
company.
ones, that would,
Yeah.
that's
We get started.
kind of balance between.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we'll go move on down to comments from the audience. Yes, sir.
I received Rev. 341 Elm Street, when did the 2016 tax statement plan be mailed out?
We will have not had our budget meeting is, the hearing is set for the 22nd.
That's for the 2017 budget, and not for 2016, is it?
Oh, yes, it's a mill rate on that, am I correct?
No.
No, he's talking about 2016.
2016, no, this is last year's tax
Yeah, okay.
statement said,
Yeah.
requiring about, when do those plans to be mailed out to the residents so we can pay them before the end of the year?
Our taxes.
Probably not until the, 27th or the 28th at earliest. We have our budget hearing on the 22nd, and I do believe the county is closed on the 23rd and the 26th, but I will send the tax rates in on the 23rd. They have to have them printed, so the soonest that the treasurer could probably pick them up would be Tuesday, if they get them printed by Tuesday.
But what does that budget hearing have to do with those tax rates?
For 2016?
That's next year's tax rates.
2016 payable 2017.
We aren't setting, in our budget, we aren't setting the tax rate for 2017, or 2016.
It's already
We're setting
set.
the tax rate for 2017. For the 2017 taxes.
Your tax bills are based off of the levy that you set in the budget hearing.
For 2017, correct?
That doesn't sound right.
Because the levy for 2016 was set last year, not,
Yeah.
The levy for 2017 was set last year?
No,
2016.
2016 was set last year.
Well, we did it at the budget hearing. Well, no,
correct.
at the budget hearing.
2016 was set
Yes,
last
yes.
year. But you're talking about 2017's budget hearing that should have no bearing on 2016's tax statements being mailed out. Because it already was set last year. So if
We have a different levy. We
the
have a
levy's
different,
already been set for 2016, last year.
so what you're asking for
The
is
tax
the
statements,
full.
when are they gonna be mailed out, so we can
Printed out,
pay them before the end of the year? If they're not gonna be mailed out till the 28th, are there gonna be extended office hours so we can pay them?
For those that want to deduct that taxes this
Correct.
year versus after the 1st of January. And
Yes.
I've had several inquiries, and I got another one that requested it tonight, that called me. I gave one to you here at budget time, right, Steve? The ones that went to Arizona? Right, I got another one tonight.
So we've already sent some already?
No,
No,
he's had
Request,
requests.
request is what
But
it's
the
got.
2017 levy and budget's got nothing to do with 2016, correct? When it was set last year.
I gotta believe you're right on that, Larry, but according to what they're saying, they gotta wait to send them out till after the 2017 budget is finalized. I don't understand that.
Neither do I.
No, you, doesn't make sense to me.
Well, then why didn't the
Because
county have
the
to-
tax rate was set in last year's budget, and then the assessor established the values, and so that determined what the taxes were.
At the hearing,
Mhm.
We already knew that by the
change that levy
end
for
of
next year.
July, or end of June.
For 2017, no.
Yeah, what we're doing now is for
Yeah,
2017.
yeah, so I don't know.
That should have nothing to do with the taxes we have to pay this year, or, have to pay this next year.
do we have
This year.
statements from the county? No.
Statements from the
Taxes.
The tax bills?
tax bills?
The taxes
Printed
get,
up there.
the taxes get sent out from us, right? We
No.
send them
Yeah,
out.
we send them out, but we get them from the county, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Well, she had to recount your, is that part of it, or is it?
Oh, maybe that's what's holding her up on that end.
that could be.
I mean, the residential recount should have nothing to do with it.
Well, it does if the clerk's office
Jeopardizes
and,
the county clerk's time. I don't know, I'm just
Screwed up in
speculating.
there. That would be the only issue there, but somebody should contact them and see what's going on with that, I suppose.
Well, then if that's the case, the whole state of Wisconsin would be late mailing out their taxes.
Depending on when their county clerk got the recount done, right?
Just got done.
And it just got done here.
Marathon's done.
Yeah, it
Marathon.
just got done, but what I'm saying is, did that jeopardize the mailing of the taxes to
I
the
know people in
local
Portage, I
clerks?
know people in Portage County that got their taxes already, so.
We got ours ready from the north a week ago.
I don't want mine.
You don't mind?
But I mean, the budget hearing has nothing to do with 2016, not the taxes, because 2016 taxes are
Something
being
involved
paid
there, isn't there, Pam?
2016,
But
not
it might be to
2017.
the fact that, because if you raise the levy from that year to this year, then that changes your revenue that you're going to get too, so that might be why they.
But no, but that's only concerned with next year's revenue.
But they
The levy we're
probably,
raising,
they
the
probably,
levy that's gonna
That's
get
the
raised is
only
gonna
time
be
you
for-
can raise it. You
they
can,
probably
you can't raise it
compare
for
that, because you can
17.
only
Well,
raise
these
it so
garbage
much.
we put on
Yes.
there, all their
Right, but
stuff.
we already have that levy for this year, for 2016 established, last year's budget. That established it.
But now you're also going
And that's
into,
what the taxes are
you're
based
going
on.
into 2017, and if you're raising your levy, they probably have to go back and make sure that you aren't taking, where the revenue's gonna come in. That's probably, because your revenue's going to change if your levy
She's
goes up.
partially right.
Mhm.
Yes.
But that revenue,
And it's probably
it won't be
comparison
the
to
revenue
what
that they're
happened there.
collecting in 2017, it'll be the revenue they're collecting in 2018. That's what's going up.
There's always been something to do with the
Yeah.
budget hearing before we get our taxes, property tax bills sent out to us. And I don't know exactly what it is, but it's got something to do with our budget hearing.
Patty, do you want to have something? Would you like to talk?
Not really.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Are there forms you need to send in?
So what
after
you're
our budget
talking
hearing?
about is
Okay.
what we have spent for the year and.
No.
No,
For
for
What I
60
want to
tax
know is when
statements.
will we be getting our tax bill for 2016, so we can pay it before the 31st of December on 2016. And if there are gonna be extended hours to pay it, because if we get it late by law, you have to have it, the resident has to receive it by the end of the year.
Right.
Otherwise it's free?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, Steve is willing to be here 24/7. Right? We have to, after our hearing,
Carol, that has nothing to do with the 2016 taxes.
Well,
Yeah, it does.
Larry,
It does.
let's let somebody find that out. If there's
It
been
does.
something that is tied to the hearing,
Yeah.
maybe, but we'd have to get that from the county, what that is. I don't know what that would be. I can't imagine that there is something, but if
Because
there is, there is.
We've never had this dilemma before where these taxes are gonna be mailed out at a late date.
Well,
but there's a lot
I
of
don't-
circumstances
well,
here too.
but the biggest issue is, I think this late for a budget hearing, I have never seen the budget hearing this late.
Right,
Yes.
And
right.
so that
Yeah.
might,
Exactly.
maybe that has something to do with it, but that's what we gotta find out. I can't imagine what it is, but we have to find that
I
out.
don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't either, but we'll have to find that out. Thanks for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you.
Okay,
Now, the next question on his comment, are we going to extend any hours? I mean,
Well, I think we have to find out when these taxes are going out, and then we're gonna have to
when
make
we're
that
gonna be able to
determination.
get them, and if we
We
can't,
gotta find that out first, what the status of that is and when we can get them out and
yeah,
when they're going out, and then make that decision right there.
It takes a good 12 to 18 work hours, man hours, to get those out.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
I'll let you know when I'm working on it, and I'll make some soda.
okay, we'll help. And then I think that you definitely are gonna have to work on New Year's Eve day. Because if they're not gonna get them out, we've got to,
Which is.
which is on.
31st.
31st, and that,
Saturday.
we've gotta,
Saturday.
if we're gonna be that late, we're gonna have to extend that open door.
Yeah, that was,
So the earliest we're gonna know is by the 27th? Is that what we're
No,
saying?
we don't know that.
we don't know yet.
We gotta find that out from the county, what the deal is with that.
There's something to do with the budget hearing, that's why we have to wait for that. in order
If
to
it
get-
does, we gotta find that out.
Mhm.
What time is budget hearing on the 22nd?
6.
6.
What happens if they get mailed out late and people don't receive them until the 1st of January?
They will be laid out, they will be mailed out before then. If
Guaranteed?
we have to, all of us come in and help.
I'm gonna be gone.
Of course.
I am, I'm leaving the 29th.
Yeah. So,
Oh my.
We'll be mailing them before that.
Huh?
We'll be mailing them before that, you'll be here.
No, I won't.
yeah, well,
I'm gonna have to
anyway,
get to the airport
let's
really
move on.
early.
I know. Okay, approval of minutes, town board meeting of November 14th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for November 14th.
Second that.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes of the town board meeting of November 14th, 2016. Is there any further discussion? Any discussion? If none, let's vote.
Debbie?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Carolyn?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Okay, reports, Plan Commission, John Bajowski is not here. Fire Department, Rod Bauer.
Since the previous meeting, we had one medical call, one alarm system trip, one motor vehicle accident, one basement fire or structure fire, and one mutual aid dispenser. We do have a new hire, it's Chantel Manti. She lives on Highway E. She is 19 years old. Or over the age of 18, however you want me to word that. I know you guys question that on The monthly training was for CPR for the firefighters. We've got about 90% of them done on the other day. We're going to be doing one more day for the remaining of the firefighters, so that all the firefighters are CPR trained. We have received a $1,000 grant from Enbridge Company. The grant is to be used towards purchasing for air monitoring equipment. It's primarily the CO monitors that we use for the first responders, and then also a pump for the multi-gas meters that we have currently. The DOT inspections for and pump tests have been completed. There was just a few small maintenance issues to be taken care of, and the parts are on order for those. Nothing major this year. The department has applied for a FEMA grant for purchasing of new SCBA's, spare bottles, compressor unit, and 2 cascade systems. The total application amount requested was $272,500. That portion that the township or fire department is to pay for that would be $12,976. The thought process behind that is that we have about $5,000 in the SCBA budget for next year. If we would get it after purchased all next year, would be $5,000 out of that. We have the CD for equipment purchases, because this obviously would be a major purchase for replacing SCBA's and everything, and then also some out of Fall Fest. As far as the EMS update, work is on the operational plan yet. It's continuing. Training for the month of December will be snow rescue and snowmobile trails, since they've been changing. Some of our people are not aware of where the routes have been changed. And the EMS group has applied for 2 grants through the North Central Trauma Council. Any questions?
Did you guys have a fire department meeting last month?
Yes.
Okay, but is there a reason we're not getting the agendas? 'Cause I know I had requested them in the past.
You want the,
Your
Okay.
agenda.
okay, and we can do that. We can email you those too.
Okay.
We've been posting them on the board, so.
Mhm. But if you can email them to us so we know when it is and what's gonna be on there.
Sure.
Okay.
Larry, you've been working with the snowmobile trails, haven't you?
The club, the Little Roses, yes.
So if you want to go over the routes with Larry, maybe you could do that for your information.
There really isn't.
We didn't go over it last year, so the route where they changed up off of, I believe, Marsh, when they come across that field and stuff, we haven't.
You mean,
Where
where
do
do
you
you come off
come-
Marsh
where do you
Road
come
and come into the,
John,
that, they just sold that,
they used to blow
Franklin just sold that to Josh,
Trip.
somebody,
Tractor?
that acreage right behind, right,
Right east.
now you got me
On the
confused.
east side of.
I seen you there the other day putting up signs, so,
Down here, back over here, over here.
over here.
Oh, yeah, that just goes at an angle through that field. But Stratford had a change in theirs, I guess you have to contact them for theirs, because theirs changed back over here. Pretty much everything that we had, well, you didn't have it last year, so I guess we'll have to give you a map. We'll get your map.
There is one other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention. At a previous meeting, you guys okayed our officers. I just wanted to let you know that Travis is not as old as we would, I guess, like in our requirements. He is 19 years old. The requirement is 22. He is the only individual that applied. The board or the fire department members did vote him in, so they feel good with it. He does have more training than his minimal requirements, and he has been meeting with me once a week for about 2 hours or 3 hours, depending upon the day, and to get caught up on kind of fresh and knowledge that he needs to know. So
Should we check with the insurance guy? Is he covered for everything then that he's supposed to be covered for? Because he's not actually where he's supposed to be according to your bylaws.
Well, he's over 18, which
Yes,
is what
he's
you
19,
have.
yes.
He's 19.
But he's supposed to be 22 for that position according to their bylaws, so is he gonna be covered for everything that he needs to be covered for? You might wanna check that out.
We're gonna meet with him anyway,
okay.
okay? Okay,
That compressor unit and 2 cascade systems,
Yes.
is that new stuff?
This would be, we have a
And
compressor.
what's it for, I guess?
Okay, with the going into the deal, our SCBA, some of our bottles and stuff date back to 74.
Yeah, I
Some
know
of our steel
they had
bottles.
to be replaced
And
every
the other
so
thing's
often.
right, the SCBA compressor that we have over there goes up to 4,500 pounds. The basic new trend is that the bottles that we actually have on our back are 4,500 pounds, which normally what means is that they run a 6,000 pound, or 6,000 pound compressor in them, so that you have 2,000 pound difference, so that you can fill bottles. And our cascade systems are also 4,500. So, and right now, our bottles that we have on our back are 22/16. So basically, when we make the change, everything goes. Right. The mass, for NFPA standards, because of germs and everything that are out there, everybody is issued their own mask. Which when you start changing breathers, you can't change like 3 breathers at a time, because then the mask is back and forth, because our stuff is so old. Some of them are some of them are within their 10-year span, but most of the stuff is beyond its 10-year. And that's why we're going for the grant, so we should have a good chance at it, but you never know.
Okay.
So the request for 272,500 is all funded by FEMA except for $12,976.
Correct.
And that's our obligation.
That's our obligation.
You covered how we're gonna cover that within
Correct.
our budget, within our CD, and with our Fall Fest.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Library, Ruth said she had nothing new to offer, so that she would not be here. So we'll just move on down to our reports. I will be attending the garbage meeting Wednesday night, which will be the end of the year for the garbage meeting. And then I have all of this, we have Christmas cards. I think this one is a thank you note. There is a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at B&H Ford, and it gives us their holiday hours. So anyone that wants to look at these, you may pass them down. Marathon County has a mercury reduction program. Hunt your home and workplace for mercury. Protecting this, should you be concerned about it. You can take items containing mercury to the Marathon County Solid Waste Department for them to handle it. So if anybody knows if it has any mercury that they know of, these forms we have those so that you can go to the Marathon County people about it. North Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. Town of Spencer has a comprehensive plan public hearing on December 7th. Little bit late. I guess that's all I have here for the news, and then until we move through. Some of the other things I have information on. So, that is it for me. Dave, do you have something for highway?
Pat's been busy. All the snow fences is in and hung. The Man Road has been completed. The dig out and the blacktopping project, I think we just got those bills here today. And shouldering was completed on Galvin Avenue, both north of this intersection and also south. The guys were out plowing, I guess, between 12 and 1 is when they started yesterday morning and completed it by around 3 or 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Salted where it was needed to be salted, and now we're ready for the rivers to come this week, I guess. So, any questions?
Yep. Nothing?
I had a question. There was something on the news about a certain type of playground equipment. The kids are getting their fingers caught in this stuff, and all municipalities are supposed to check what they got. Do we have a slide someplace?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a tube?
No,
Just a slide?
just a slide.
Okay.
So
I just heard a word someplace.
No,
No, I'm just saying, I didn't know.
I didn't hear anything
And there was,
about
and somebody, and it was on Channel 7 or Channel 9, they're getting their fingers caught in it. They're separating, the joints are separating.
this time of year they're probably sticking to it.
No, so that's fat flagpole.
Okay, Joe?
I have nothing on those items.
Okay, Gary?
I don't have anything either.
Okay, moving right along. Clerk, approval of checks and financial report. Gary?
ending balance was $302,497.65. Receipts, $44,363.67. Total disbursements, $56,323.44. Ending balance of $290,537.88. The check register from November 15th through December 12th. Total disbursements, $66,741.43. Includes checks 14498 through 14549 and electronic checks 106 through 108.
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we approve the clerk's report and the payment of checks 14498 through 14549 and electronic checks of 106 and 108 for a total of $66,741.43.
I'll second that.
okay, the motion's been made and seconded to approve the clerk's report plus checks 14498 through 14549, electronic transfers 106 through 108. Is there any discussion? Okay,
Deb,
aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Joe.
Aye.
Okay, treasurer.
Okay, month ending November 30th, the checking account balance per bank was $220,653.24, less the outstanding checks detail attached, $5,146.15. There were no outstanding deposits. Reconciled checking account balance was $215,507.09. Tax savings account balance was $32.06. That balance has subsequently been reduced to zero. Park fund savings account, $8,979.86. Volunteer firefighters fund savings account, $17,968.53. Fire department CD is $20,135.34. Public works replacement apparatus CD, $27,915 for an ending cash balance of $290,537.88.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded to approve the treasurer's report as presented. Any discussion? Okay,
Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Joe.
Aye.
Okay, unfinished business. Resolution to proceed with condemnation of the building at M301 State Highway 97 and asbestos abatement. We, at our last meeting, the recommendation was to send the resolution to the attorney for any changes, and he has not responded to us. So therefore, I just learned, not too long ago, that Lee Tironi, who was with the Wisconsin Towns Association, was one of the attorneys, has gone into private practice now in Wausau. And I'm wondering if we don't need to look at maybe asking him if he would look at this, and he might be able to really be able to help us. I don't know why we haven't heard from Scott. But we need to move on this.
I got a question. Why is the township condemning this building? I'm curious, why are we involved?
As a safety,
To who?
Everybody and everything.
To the public.
Well, it's on private property though.
Well, but that's what a municipality does. If there's an issue and the public and the private people aren't taking care of it, the municipality can step in and force the issue.
Okay, but then are we gonna do that for the other buildings in this township too?
You have to look at each one individually.
Because there's the what, that old cellar bar, is that
Mhm.
the one? He said that one is in really bad shape. So are we gonna do that?
Well, this is all due to the accident where, you know, we became aware, when the truck went in there and the building didn't fall down like we hoped it would, but it didn't. And so therefore, it is, the fire chief has condemned that as unsafe, and so we
But
have.
we have to get permission for him to condemn that. That's the board decision. And then I believe.
That's what we
according-
did. We did that last month to give the resolution to the attorney. He was to get it back to us, to tell us if we needed to do anything before we proceed with anything.
Okay, so how can you condemn it first? I mean, you can't do that. The board's got to approve that first. We got, and I believe the process is we're supposed to send them a letter and they get so much time to take care of it. Am I correct?
I went to the county on this, and they said, get an attorney involved first and get your resolution done, and then you go from there.
So far, the fire department has said it's unsafe.
Unsafe.
That's what they said.
Well, Carol said he condemned it. That's where I'm coming from.
We were told by all of the sheriff's department, everybody there, get your tape around it so that it says it's, so that to keep people out.
But we haven't officially condemned the building.
No, that's what this whole process.
That's what this
Yeah.
whole process is, what we're trying to get done. So that's
First-
why we need to
The first
move
step
on.
was that the fire chief said, some official there was something in there that some official from the town had to state that the building was unsafe.
Okay.
And we have village powers,
That
and he
official
has
there
the
did.
power to do that.
they still have electricity in there?
No.
No,
Well, because the year
Before,
before,
it was the day of the accident,
is when the
power
others
was
got it.
because I knew they had power in there before.
yes, they did, yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's,
up till the day of the accident, which was the, first day of school, right?
somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty close
yeah.
to it.
Right,
Yeah.
right after Labor Day.
I got a hypothetical question. Unfortunately, what happened down there at the corner, I sympathize with the people that were involved. But prior to that, were there any complaints about condemning that building?
All the time.
So then why wasn't it done prior to that?
Well, everybody just would say, well, you know, when's the town gonna get rid
So
of that old
if you're
building?
gonna take and
And
hire
so-
legal counsel, the first question they're gonna ask you is why didn't you condemn that building prior to that accident? That's the first question.
Probably
they're
because
gonna
it
ask.
had all its sides yet.
No, well, years ago, the fire department talked about burning that building years ago,
Yeah.
and you had permission.
I'm not saying that building shouldn't be
So why-
removed, but like Debbie said,
Asbestos now.
that's on private property.
That's
If
right.
there hasn't been any written complaints, how can you condemn a building on private property without any written complaints about a nuisance building?
I guess all.
We didn't have it before, right? But now with the accident, now.
I understand that. It's unfortunate that the accident brought this to light.
Right,
But prior to the accident, you had no written complaint.
right.
And that's not gonna be a very good case in court.
Well, we have to go through the process, and the process
There
is.
isn't gonna be any court involved with this, Larry.
There's gonna
There's
have to
gonna-
be, because we're gonna have to.
Well, I mean, the case is gonna just be, it's gonna be a formality.
Mhm.
It's gonna follow through with the steps and it's gonna get done.
Correct, you're gonna
But we have to
follow,
start and do it the correct way with this resolution And in order to do that, we have to contact a lawyer to do that.
Right, the lawyers are gonna be involved on both sides of the fence here, correct?
I would expect no.
No.
I would guess we're the only one that's gonna have an attorney.
Yeah. The
I guess.
people
That's-
that,
the
the people
courts
that
have
we're
already
going,
got
that
heard.
the people that
People old.
are technically the owners of that building aren't gonna
She's
do
90
anything.
something.
They aren't gonna fight this, they aren't gonna do
Well,
anything.
I understand, yeah, that's,
So
I
there won't
understand.
be any other lawyer saying, no, you can't do that.
So they will be responsible for the cost of,
They will be responsible if they don't come up with the money, then it'll end up getting put on the tax roll.
Yeah, we have to file a judgment.
We have to file a judgment, we have to go through the court system on that. But that's not,
so
that,
then you're just gonna absorb their land anyways for the town. If it's on the tax roll.
whatever happens with it, okay? That's
Well, that's no different.
something that's gonna happen in the future. We right now have to take the next step of trying to get rid of it. If we don't, what you see is what you got. And that's what's gonna be there for the next 10 years if we don't.
Yeah,
if
it'll
we don't
look
do
just like,
something.
it'll look just like the one out
Because
there
it's
on
gonna
Y.
take, it's gonna take at least 10 years before that building falls down. It's
Yeah.
left standing there.
It's been there for what, how many years has it been there now, standing like that since 19?
Well,
Let's see, the road was built in 1998, and I worked on that road, so that's how long that building's been standing there like that since
And
1998.
that building's gonna stand longer than this one along here because there's so many trees in there that are holding it up. Here, this one's standing out in the open.
It's unfortunate what happened that this all had to come to light.
It is. And there has been already, the courts have already had hearings and so forth. And,
In regards to
because
the
I have
insurance.
been in
In
contact.
regards to the insurance aspect of it,
Yes, yes.
But as far as your part of it, trying to remove the building from private property, like Debbie said, that you're gonna have to,
Well, there's a process, and this first thing is that you have to do this first thing, then you have to have it tested for asbestos. That's the thing that has to happen. Then, when you get their report, then it has to go to the DNR. And they're the ones then that decide on how it's gonna be handled and so forth. But we can't do any of it until we get this resolution signed that we're gonna proceed with this. And we have to have go to the attorney, which we took to a month ago, and
We
we
didn't
not,
get back to us.
and he did not get back to us. So I'm asking, do we go to,
A different attorney.
we've got this Wisconsin Towns Association
What's he
attorney.
Have
He
you-
charges $190 an hour.
So it's the same as Scott.
No, his,
Scott
what
rate
was,
went up.
yes, considerably.
well, all that cost would be revert back to the
Right,
property
I'd have to
owner.
go back on the property owner.
Or, well, yeah, it has to go to the property owner because it can't go to the person that was involved in the accident.
In our last meeting, this was our decision.
This
and-
technically has nothing to do with the accident. It's
No, that's the
the
point of it.
situation of the building. That's-
Prior to the accident, there should have been something done.
Well, the little girl that got hurt evidently, any money that was, there for insurance will be going to her.
Well, that's unfortunate, that's the way it is, but
Yeah,
prior to all the issues prior to that,
Yeah,
it should have been looked at.
yeah, they wouldn't talk about it before, but now they are.
And we've
Now-
all, we've
now
all
they are.
heard it, we've all heard it over the years and took the input. I've heard it too, people, when are you gonna get rid of that building on the corner? When are you gonna do something about it? Here it is.
Carol, I would think in regards to that lawyer, if I remember, we've got like an agreement with Scott that he's our attorney, but we aren't, as I remember from some discussions, we aren't bound to have to
we're
use
not
that.
obligated really to anybody.
And the only question I would have is if you feel it necessary to contact him and say, why haven't you got back to us? And then proceed with somebody else. And I don't see
Do
where,
whatever you want.
I don't see where we need to have any board action to do that. That's up to, you've been basically authorized
Yes,
you going ahead and contacting the
Okay.
attorney, and if he isn't gonna be cooperative, then you contact whoever you want as an attorney. That's my opinion.
Well, I believe she's had permission to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
But you're just bringing it forth that you
Yeah.
found out that Teroni is another one that's been used, so that's what you.
that was from Scott, why he hasn't got back to us, and then let him know we're gonna be going to another attorney, so we don't get another bill.
Right.
yes, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, okay, good. Just so we're all on the same page. Okay, let's go to new business. Approve, disapprove Christmas gifts for employees.
I think everybody but Patty should get something.
Oh. Bob Humbug. The only reason my tree's up is because my husband's home. Otherwise, it would happen.
What did we do last year?
I think,
I think we gave Pat 100, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then, okay, then my recommendation is,
Okay,
Pat 100, Patty 50. What about Gene and Ronnie? Did we get them?
we did get them.
Okay, Gene and
Some-
Ronnie, 25 each. They don't have to split it. And then Steve, 25. Does that sound right for everybody? Or do you have another recommendation?
It's $200, right?
Yeah,
Is that a motion?
that's a motion.
That's a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, the motion has been made to
Dorothy?
approve the Christmas gift for employees as stated. Is there any discussion?
Dorothy?
why do you do this in front of your help?
You can't do it without
I
him.
mean, well, yeah, right, you can't do without the help, but every year you do
You go
this,
to the
you
same.
know, why don't you just say, we'll proceed with the same Christmas gifts that we've given in the past?
Yeah, but we didn't know what those were offhand. So we got to set them out.
And you are so right.
Yeah,
But it's,
I agree.
tacky.
it's
Yeah.
very tacky.
Yes.
I mean, when Youngster was leaving, you guys sat here and decided what you,
Exactly.
Well, I'm just basing it kind of on pay. That's the way I looked at it, so
Okay,
part-time,
Did you call for the motion?
you know, let's
vote on it.
vote.
Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Gary,
I,
Joe.
Aye.
Okay, the next thing is approve, disapprove the ambulance contract. We finally got the new ambulance contract. And,
Was there something in there you were gonna?
yes, there were two things. There were two things. One of them was that we had the discussion about in the past contract, they stated they did not come for lift assists. And so, it is now in there. They said, the other thing was that we had asked that other municipalities would be included in the where they transported to, because we had, there's St. Clair's Hospital in Weston, Aspirus, and so those were all added in to the new contract.
The old contract was just Marshfield?
I think it was like Marshfield.
Point
What?
and
It was
Rapids,
like Point and Rapids, I believe.
Point in Rapids and Marshfield?
yes,
And now we've added Wausau?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it says here, they will be transported to the nearest most appropriate medical facility that includes all of these, but is not solely limited to these hospitals, with the exception of users with cardiac and trauma-related emergencies who shall be transported to the nearest most appropriate hospital, such as St. Joseph's Hospital. So it would be the one that's closest. The other thing was I have to find it here where it says that with the lift assist.
And that wasn't in last year's?
It wasn't in there, and that's why we had all that
Mhm.
business
Yeah.
when they wouldn't come. So it's in here now. And otherwise, it doesn't change except the cost. And the cost went up
It was
to
going at 50.
51,000, I think, but,
$51,024.
Yeah, that's right.
We had the budget.
Mhm.
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
So went up just above $4,000.
yes.
But then now they're gonna go for a lift assist, so
They're what?
going for a lift assist.
Yes. No, they are not.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are, you said they are included that now, correct?
Yeah, they are.
Wait, I'm trying to find it in here. It says,
I believe it says they will not.
Will
respond
not.
For lift.
do that.
They did before and they won't now?
Well, it wasn't in, they didn't,
There was nothing stated in there.
there was nothing
Now it's
stated.
stated
Now
that
it's
they
stated,
won't.
yes.
Oh, so it's
Yes.
stated that they won't.
That they won't do it.
Because there was a response for a lift. Now they put it in the contract that they won't respond for the lift.
Well, I suggest don't tell them that you're gonna be lifting anybody, you just need an ambulance there.
Oh, here it
It's
is.
hard to get everybody to walk in.
Huh?
It's hard to get everybody to walk on.
Yeah. The city ambulance service shall not respond outside of the city limits for non-medical responses, lift assist with no injury reported, unless the emergency responders request medical intervention. And if there's someone there that requests it, then they will come. So, that's the only difference there is in
That's kind of vague.
yeah.
So if you get a 500 pounder and the EMS can't take care of it, they'll come out.
Then just drag them in.
Okay.
Okay, so,
So I'll make a motion to approve the contract as presented.
I'll second that motion.
okay, the motion has been made and seconded to approve the ambulance contract with the city. Is there any discussion about it? This is a one-year contract commencing January 1st, 2017. So,
How many runs did we have? Do we know about?
Do we get any
38.
summary?
there were 38.
38?
We had, I can't remember what they, I don't
We
know.
had 38 runs last year?
Well, that was, wasn't that what it was?
Last year,
Yeah,
this year's not
In 2015.
this year's not tallied.
Correct.
And then Marshfield collects from the insurance companies also.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if they can't collect, then it still comes
Then
back.
it comes
It comes back to us.
And that's in addition to this.
That's in
premium.
addition to this. Yeah. We're in the wrong business.
So
Exactly.
did you ask them, are these increases gonna keep going like this every year?
Oh, yeah, they do.
I
They
can
do,
remember
every
hearing when it
single
was
year.
30. 28 actually,
Mhm.
right?
Actually, in 2013, it was 39,000. So, okay.
Yeah, they just keep jacking
And
it
somebody,
up.
maybe it's, somebody didn't tell them there is no inflation right now.
Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Gary,
I,
Joe?
Aye.
The next thing we need to do is set the date for caucus. I will read what it was in here.
It's gonna be set between the 1st of January and the
21st of January. last
21st.
day.
and I believe that's,
January 2nd. It has to be held between January 2nd and January 21st.
Yep, and the 21st is on Saturday.
yeah, that's right.
So we will have it, we put it on,
January's meeting, right?
January meeting is the 9th.
Yes, at 6:30. Steve and I kind of set that ahead of time because it needed to get printed.
We also need to schedule our final meeting. Can we do that the same date as, our board hearing,
Budget hearing?
our budget hearing, I'm sorry? That'd be the 22nd.
That's pretty darn close.
Yeah,
So you're gonna do that at,
well, our
whenever the budget hearing is done?
yeah, we can just do it the follow.
Or we could do, or we
Do
could
you
do
need
it,
a set
we
time?
could do it
Yeah, but if
the
you,
evening when we
you
all.
need to set time when it's posting, but that doesn't mean it to start at that time.
I mean, if we run late, it's not a big
If you
deal.
run the budget hearing,
And
it's
then after that,
anticipated to start at 8, but it follows the budget meeting, it's how
Okay.
it's posted.
okay.
The budget meeting be done by 8?
Depends how many changes we make.
Yeah, so,
December 22nd.
and that's scheduled for 6 o'clock, right?
Yep,
The hearing.
yep. So budget at 6 and, the board, or the board meeting to approve checks.
Following.
Following. Mhm.
When you post that, do you have to have a time, or can you say following?
She'll put a time on there and, I mean, she can put
We're
7
gonna put
if we run
8.
late, it ain't a big deal.
We're gonna,
Well, don't put it too late.
And I was just gonna say, we
Better
can
for
always
us,
run
yeah.
late,
Yeah. We don't wanna
other
stand
than sitting
around,
here waiting.
we don't wanna stand around waiting, because we can't start.
I put 7 on there.
7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
very good. Okay, is there anything else to come before the board? Okay,
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Okay, meeting adjourned. I do have we did have a, when we approved the certified survey map for Gerald Jensen at our last meeting, but we didn't sign the,
Well, the county didn't get it.
they didn't get
The
it.
county got part of that, but not all of it. So this was approved in November, and we need to sign.
So we just need to sign it. Everybody just needs to sign it.
Yeah.